Hi, welcome back. We're reading through the Bible, and today we're in Proverbs chapter 28. I'm reading from the New King James translation. I really like this John MacArthur Study Bible. The link is in the description below. If you get one, let me know. If you use a different one or a different translation, let me know also in the comments below. Let's get started. Proverbs 28. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Let's see. Yes, there's notes. Okay, it says a guilty conscience images accusers everywhere, while a clear conscience has boldness to face everyone. Boldness like a lion. Okay, verse 2. Because of the transgression of a land, many are its princes, but by a man of understanding and knowledge, right will be prolonged. In verse 2 has notes also. Many are its princes. Unrighteousness in a nation produces political instability, with many vying for power. True. Thus, the tenure of each leader is shortened. Wisdom promotes social order and long rule. Okay, verse 3. A poor man who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain which leaves no food. Oppresses the poor. When the poor come to power and oppress their own, it's as bad as a destructive storm washing the fields clean instead of watering the crop. Also, because I used to be a homeschool mom, we used to study cultures and countries everywhere. And there are certain types of soil where there's just so much rain, all the nutrients are washed away. So you cannot farm, not even when the ground dries out, because all the nutrients are washed away. So it takes time for those to replenish. So in verse 3, a poor man who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain which leaves no food. That is not a short-term problem. Okay, verse 4. Those who forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. No notes on that one. Verse 5, evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand all. I would highlight seek the Lord. It's so important. Okay, verse 6, better is the poor who walks with his integrity than one perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Now, there's no notes on that. However, integrity. I used to explain this to my boys when we were doing these etiquette books. Integrity is what you're doing when you think or you know nobody's watching. It's doing the right thing no matter what. And in a Christian context, that's doing the right thing even if you don't think you're going to get caught, because God is all-knowing. He is everywhere and He knows. And we want to do what's right before the Lord so we can stand in front of Him and say, I did the best I could, and actually mean it. So integrity is doing the right thing no matter what. So better is the poor who walks in his integrity, doing the right thing, than one perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Okay, verse 7. Whoever keeps the law is a discerning son, but a companion of gluttons shames his father. The notes on that says, the son who obeyed God's law would not be a glutton and shame his father. Okay, verse 8. One who increases his possessions by usury and extortion gathers it for him who will pity the poor. Usury and extortion. The law forbade the charging of interest to fellow Jews, but this was often violated. Gathers it for him. In the providence and justice of God, such wealth will be forfeited to someone who treats the poor fairly. Okay, verse 9. One who turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer is an abomination. Whoever causes the upright to go astray in an evil way, he himself will fall into his own pit, but the blameless will inherit good. The attempted corruption of the righteous is a wicked sin. Okay, verse 11. The rich man is wise in his own eyes, but the poor who has Understanding searches him out. There are notes on that one. The rich man is wise in his own eyes. This contrasts the discerning poor with the rich man, who is deceived by his self-confidence. Riches are not always possessed by the unrighteous, and wisdom by the poor. But more often than not, this is the case due to the blinding nature of wealth. Okay, so verse 12. When the righteous rejoice, there is great glory, but when the wicked arise, men hide themselves. Verse 13. He who covers his sin will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. Happy is the man who is always reverent, but he who hardens his heart will fall into calamity. Are there any notes on that? Covers and confesses. Sin must not be covered, but confessed. And then hardens the heart, it references other verses. In the interest of time, I'll let you look those up. They are Exodus 7:13 and 17:7, Psalm 95:8, and Romans 2:5. So again, that's why you get a study Bible so you could cross-reference. Okay, verse 15. Like a roaring lion and a charging bear is a wicked ruler over poor people. Sounds treacherous, right? A ruler who lacks understanding is a great oppressor, but he who hates covetousness will prolong his days. Verse 17. A man burdened with bloodshed will flee into a pit. Let no one help him. Whoever walks blamelessly will be saved, but he who is perverse in his ways will suddenly fall. He who tills his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows frivolity will have poverty enough. Are there any notes on that? Okay, verse 17, it says, whoever is inwardly tormented by the murder of someone takes to ceaseless flight to escape the avenger of blood and the punishment of his crime. He flees and finds no rest until the grave receives him. The exhortation is to avoid helping a murderer with any support, refuge, or security against the vengeance which pursues him from the arm of justice. So God is a God of justice. And we may not see it on our timeline that justice is served, but God promises it will be. Okay, let's see here. Where were we? Let's start at 18. Whoever walks blamelessly will be saved, and he who is perverse in his ways will suddenly fall. He who tills his land will have plenty of bread, and he who follows frivolity will have poverty enough. Verse 20. A faithful man will abound with blessings, but he who hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. It sounds like there's a theme where when you chase riches, and that is your idol, you're putting it above the Lord, you will go punished. You will not be blessed in the way that the Lord has planned or hoped for you. And is chasing money reckless? Is having money a sin? I don't think having money is a sin, but taking anything that's neutral or a tool and then holding it above your affections for the Lord, then it becomes an idol. Okay, verse 21. To show partiality is not good, because for a piece of bread a man will transgress. A man with an evil eye hastens after riches and does not consider that poverty will come upon him. He who rebukes a man will find more favor afterward than he who flatters with the tongue. Are there any notes on that? Yes. Verse 23, it says, flattery has no value, but reproof does. So it leads to gratitude. Verse 24, whoever robs his father or his mother and says, it is no transgression, the same is companion to a destroyer. So if you steal from your mom and dad and say, it's no big deal, it's just mom and dad, it's the same companion to a destroyer. Those are strong words. Are there any notes on that? It says to plunder one's own family is an unthinkable crime, but it is worse yet when denied. Like, oh, I didn't do that. Okay. Verse 25. He who is of a proud heart stirs up strife, but he who trusts in the Lord will be prospered. I would highlight trust in the Lord will be prospered. Verse 26. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but whoever walks wisely will be delivered. He who gives to the poor will not lack, but he who hides his eyes will have many curses. And in the notes it says this refers to one who does not respond to the needs of the poor. There are actual people who need help, even if you don't have everything you want, and the Lord calls you to help them. Verse 28, when the wicked arise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. And that is Proverbs chapter 28. How did you guys do? It's fairly short, even when you pause for notes. Feel free to drop a comment below and let me know which verse stands out to you, which verse is most challenging to you, and I will see you tomorrow for chapter 29.